like Steed on 6 into Curator into Reg Light Lord, game's over. Yeah, there's nothing that APX Void in Canada can do, so Malaysia's going to go up to a 2-0 lead on the back of that flexible Paladin build. And just when it looked like APX Void had put together the damage to be able to end the game, if he had gone with the Alexstrasza on the turn that he played Aldor Frostbolt and top decked the Firelands into Pyroblast, would it have been one turn off from the Reg Light Lord?
I mean, I think I speak for all of us when I say you just never listen to me, generally speaking, but the line of play did technically work out.
What he did was right. What APX Void in Canada did was absolutely correct there. It is just
I'm just John Travolta's shrug gif, and I'm just... But yeah,
you keep doing you, Rob. You were right, Rob.
Hooray.
Good job, Rob.
We got there.
We got there.
Yeah, obviously that Ragnaros Light Lore showing up just in the nick of time, right where it needed to be, and yeah, that's one of those things where for Canada, that is pretty heartbreaking to lose that match.
Also,
if I sound like I'm excited, it's because I am. This is just so much fun to watch. This is the kind of deck I was playing way back in the day prior to GVG, actually.
I mean, this is a deck that I had tried to make work quite a ways back as well, just because Kirin Tormage has always been such a great tempo card. And when Cabal Lackey initially came out, I'm like, okay, maybe Secret Deck could actually... this could be a thing. And it never was, until suddenly you take away Flamewaker, and miraculously it is.
Yeah, regardless of what happened on this Lightning Storm, that was going to be game with the second Firelands portal, and Canada going to be swept 3-0. The Malaysian dream is alive. You know, we thought, okay, maybe they come up against Canada, and that's an opponent that has been absolutely remorseless. Yes, the Ragnaros Light Lord off the top when it was lucky, but Malaysia put themselves in that situation and have navigated this series extremely well, and they are now 4-0. They are going on to stage 2. Canada still has to win one more game at some point, at least from what we can see in the rest of the group. And I mean, Malaysia, no, stage 2. See you later.
I mean, they're done with stage 1. They will still have one more match to play.
Yep. But
at this point, they will be through to stage 2 regardless. And notably, like you said, Canada had to win at least one game to confirm their spot in stage 2. They're not there yet, but likely they're going to get there. So I'd rest easy tonight, Rob. I think the Canadian team is going to be okay. But Malaysia, I said it myself, I don't think they're too worried about...
Definitely like that it's kind of coming more into the meta. The problem with Burglary Bully is, yeah, the stat line's good, the effect is good, but what does it do against the kind of aggression you see so readily available generally in ranked play?
Not much, unfortunately.
Yep.
Which is why it's sort of always fringe. But it does slot into tempo-oriented mage builds quite nicely if you have Antonitis on the top end. And here we're actually seeing one of the weaknesses of the Secret Mage that you mentioned earlier in the previous Secret Mage game we saw. It's having all of your secret synergy, but having no secrets. Kind of does shut down your deck a little bit.
I'm really waiting for the meme. One of those memesters out there to just take the Daenerys "Where are my dragons" thing and just put the Jaina thing.
Where are my secrets?
Where are my secrets? Because yeah, right now that Kirin Tormage is just very bland. It's very vanilla, not doing a whole lot. The Valet is just a potential tempo play for a 2-mana 2/3. So really not super sexy. I think you just kind of want to hold back. And
it's like a mage that goes home at night and eats like a lean cuisine for dinner and watches Wheel of Fortune. You know, there's nothing exciting.
It sounds like a Tina Fey show.
Mage.
It sounds like a Tina Fey show.
I bet it would make tons of money and have a great viewership on like CBS.
Well, hopefully they pay you for it. Jade Blossom not coming out last game, does come out now though, and we see that Jade Behemoth is certainly a welcome inclusion into the hand, going with the same approach if she's changed it up. Aaron, on the other hand, being the one member of the team from Singapore who has actually had a moderate degree of competitive success on a global stage. That's kind of what he's known for in Singapore is those global performances. He has a lot of top 8, top 4 finishes, so very excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, and I would hedge my bet saying that if Shani was willing to be the aggressor in a heavy control Paladin mirror, she'll likely be the aggressor in a control Shaman versus control Paladin situation. There is the chance
Paladin really can suffer against the Shaman for the reasons you've listed. So for now, Shani's plays are pretty straightforward. Has to keep that Wild Pyromancer. That's going to be the board clear. I don't think in this matchup you're ever going to just put it out there as a 2-mana 3/2. So for now, it's probably just continue hero powering. Now, next turn, as I said, I'm kind of expecting to see the Twilight Summoner come out because I think Shani wants to get a little bit more information about what this Shaman deck is doing.
I think if anything is going to be hexed, Twilight Summoner is a fine sources, an embarrassment of riches.
To quote a Brian Kiblerism. All right, well, there's
As
Karen.
the best casters do.
Just quote Brian Kibler.
Yes.
That's fair. I believe it.
I actually really like this from Shani. Playing around a copy of Hex by just killing off her Karen right away. That Karen's more valuable when it comes from N'Zoth. So, although you could have had an additional 4/5 if Aaron didn't have Hex, we're not living in a world where he doesn't have Hex in his hand right now. So just go ahead and play the N'Zoth, or play the Karen first, and ensure that it gets added to your pool of death rattles.
Aaron, unfortunately, going to lose out to that Maelstrom portal, which was certainly just the linchpin of his plan to win this game. So he'll go ahead and take it. And you know what? I think 3 White Eyes is definitely how you're going to win this game.
I mean, he just lost a lot off of that Spirit Echo. He put down the Jade Spirit and the Thing from Below, and essentially they were killed for free. But 3 10-10s, I think, makes up for that. I think you've okay.
discovered 3. You actually have had 4 thus far because of Spirit Echo.
It's all right.
There's
Shy of like 5 King Moshes from Shy is pretty limited to Volcano at this point. Maybe if Shani is able to overwhelm with her board state, then Singapore could be in a bit of trouble. I don't know where that would come from other than N'Zoth. And at that point, it's likely that maybe Singapore will have second copy of Devolve. I don't know. That's pretty much the way that Shani's going to win this game. You need Storm Guardian Gang.
Okay, so Chittering Tunneler would certainly allow you to have more understanding of how your Lyra turn is going to go. But with that said, 1 mana spell, 2 mana spell, 2 more 1/1 spells, or 1 mana spells. So could able develop another, take 1 damage.
Give your Lyra something to play it with.
Okay. So could have waited. The Chittering Tunneler obviously cuts down on the total amount of mana you can spend to generate Lyra spells. Mind Control is pretty big.
That's Hex, big counter. But there's only so much that Shani can really do to draw out that second Hex.
At least the hand is looking a little bit thin now.
Yeah.
That is like one thing you can kind of feel good about. You, on the other hand, have a bunch of stuff. And, I mean, that Tortolan Primalist later on in the game, if you can net something big off of it, that could just absolutely be the push you need to get back into this game. Look at the difference, by the way, in the cards remaining in these decks. The Paladin versus the Shaman. So, and I think Raven and Sottle might actually be watching because they're over in California. At any rate, this is just the saddest 10-10 you've ever seen in your life.
It's a 10-10 that deals 1 damage.
Oh my goodness.
Why?
And this is why, as much as the Hex Volcano play didn't seem super attractive, you didn't have enough damage to fully clear the board with the 1 Volcano. And this is kind of the outcome I was afraid of, or something similar, is that Storm Guardian surviving. And yeah, that is 2 Storm Guardians now, and you're talking 10-10s, and you're thinking, okay, these could just go the distance and close me out the game. But thus far, yeah, Mind Control obviously complicated the equation, but those 2 10-10 Storm Guardians are basically sum 0.
How about a smaller Guardian?
Axe is going to swing into something, and the Frothing Berserker is going to get the buff. So Frothing Berserker probably going to come out on this next turn and, yeah, just start doing work.
I mean, just look at it this way. Singapore's early game consisted of Murlocs that buffed the rest of their Murlocs that they then had to trade into minimal early game from Vietnam. And now 1 weapon from Vietnam is going to shut all of this down. Just to put the pack in your deck, just so you can Shadow Visions the pack, maybe. Or
I think
is
it's
that
certainly
too wild?
It is certainly a consideration. Elise, I'm trying to find a way to word this where I don't say Elise's body is great. Elise is obviously a very powerful 5/5, so you certainly want that body.
Go on.
Because it's a 5/5 and it's great. 5 and 5, that's a 10. So you definitely want to have Elise on the board.